We live in a fast-paced, constantly connected world. There's always a new crisis to worry about, another task to handle, and constant pressure to keep up. It can feel relentless, like you're barely holding it together. But Stoicism philosophy has just the answer you're looking for. Unlike quick-fix solutions, Stoic philosophy teaches us how to shift our mindset, helping us build resilience, focus, and inner peace. These aren't abstract ideas. They're practical tools you can start using today to transform how you think, act, and approach life's challenges. Before we jump in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you don't miss future videos on living your best, most intentional life. Are you ready to take control and step into 2025 with confidence? Let's dive right in. Don't let external chaos dictate your inner peace. Life today feels like a storm that never lets up. There's always something demanding your attention, a breaking news alert, a heated debate online, a comment you wish you hadn't read. It's a constant barrage, leaving many of us feeling scattered, anxious, and drained. The noise is everywhere, and for most of us, it's hard to imagine living without it. But that's precisely where Stoicism comes in, reminding us that while we can't always control the storm outside, we have absolute power over how much of it we allow inside. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Too often, we surrender our peace of mind to the chaos around us. We scroll endlessly through social media, internalizing every piece of bad news or every judgmental comment. We engage in arguments over things that don't truly matter, and worse, we think of those arguments long after they're over. What we often forget is that we have the choice to step back, to protect our inner world from being overrun by outside chaos. Think of your mind as a fortress. A fortress is strong, but it's only as secure as the gates you choose to leave open. Let anything and everything flow in, and the fortress crumbles from within. On the other hand, if you guard those gates carefully, you preserve its strength. Protecting your inner peace isn't about shutting yourself off from the world. It's about being intentional about what you let in. You don't need to absorb every piece of negativity or react to every external trigger. You can pause, breathe, and decide whether something is worth your attention. Most of the time, you'll find that it isn't. This isn't about avoidance or ignorance, it's about boundaries. In a world that constantly competes for your attention, boundaries are a form of self-respect. Without them, your energy is scattered, your focus diluted. Imagine starting your day by setting the tone for yourself instead of letting your phone dictate it. Imagine hearing someone criticize you and choosing not to let it annoy you because you know your worth isn't tied to their opinion. That's what it means to hold on to your inner peace. One of the easiest ways to reclaim that strength is to create daily practices that ground you. Begin with reflection. Take 5 minutes each morning to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and remind yourself that you control your mind. Practice mindfulness throughout your day by noticing when you're feeling overwhelmed. Ask yourself, is this mine to carry? If the answer is no, let it go. If the answer is yes, deal with it calmly, one step at a time. Another powerful tool is journaling. Writing out your thoughts at the end of the day can help you process emotions and clear your mental space. When you live without boundaries, the noise will always seem louder than your voice. But when you practice guarding your inner peace, you'll find clarity. You'll notice the difference between the chaos outside and the calm you've cultivated within. And once you feel that calm, you'll never want to give it up. Don't chase approval or fear judgment. Most of us spend a good chunk of our lives looking sideways, measuring our worth by what others think of us. It's subtle at first, maybe a stray comment from a friend or the pressure to post the perfect picture online. But over time, this need for approval starts to shape how we live. We hesitate to make decisions, fearing what others might say. We compare our lives to curated versions of others' lives, feeling less than others. And in the process, we hand over a piece of ourselves, our authenticity, our freedom, to someone else's opinion. Stoicism reminds us that this behavior is not only unnecessary but harmful. No matter how hard you try, you can't control what others think of you. Their opinions are shaped by their own biases, insecurities, and even misunderstandings. Why let something so unstable dictate the course of your life? Think of your life like a ship at sea. If you're constantly adjusting your sails based on other people's directions, you'll never find your own destination. You'll drift, caught in currents you didn't choose, wondering why you feel lost. But when you set your own course, when you steer toward what genuinely matters to you, you begin to feel grounded. The waves of judgment may still come, but they won't shake you because you know where you're headed. Here's a truth that's easy to forget. You're never going to please everyone. No matter how perfect you try to be, someone will always have a critique, a suggestion, or a sideways glance. That's their business, not yours. The Stoics remind us that our energy is better spent aligning with our values than chasing the fleeting approval of others. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What do I value? When you root your actions in those answers, you'll find a kind of freedom that no amount of likes or validation can provide. Living free of the need for approval doesn't mean you stop caring about others or their feelings. It's about shifting your focus. Instead of worrying about how others perceive you, think about how your actions align with your principles. Instead of fearing judgment, ask yourself, am I proud of the way I'm showing up in the world? You'll realize that the only person you truly need to answer to is yourself. One way to break free from this cycle is to practice detachment. The next time you catch yourself worrying about what someone thinks, pause and ask, does this opinion change who I am? Chances are, it doesn't. Another practice is gratitude. Take time to appreciate the people in your life who value you for who you are, not for what you do or how you perform. Surround yourself with those who uplift you, and let go of relationships that drain you with constant judgment. When you stop chasing approval, something remarkable happens. You create space to be yourself truly, and in that space, you'll discover a deeper sense of confidence and peace. You don't need the world to validate you to know your worth. As you step into 2025, let go of the fear of judgment and the need for approval. Walk your own path and let your actions speak for themselves. Don't ignore the present moment. It's tempting to live anywhere but here. We replay the past, wondering what we could have done differently. Or we obsess over the future, imagining every possible outcome, both good and bad. It feels productive, like worrying and overthinking might give us control over things that have already happened or haven't happened yet. But what gets lost in all of this is the one thing we can actually influence: the present moment. Stoicism reminds us that life is only ever lived in the now. Seneca, in On the Shortness of Life, wrote, "The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately." That advice cuts through centuries, landing sharply in the distractions of 2025. We waste hours staring at screens, scrolling past the beauty of life unfolding right in front of us. We keep waiting for the right moment to act, to connect, to live fully. But those perfect moments never arrive. They're waiting for us to notice the present. Think of the present moment like a fleeting gust of wind. You can't hold on to it, and you can't chase it once it's past. But if you pause long enough to feel it, it reminds you that you're alive right now, in this exact moment. It's easy to dismiss the now as ordinary because it doesn't always feel exciting or important. But when we focus too much on what's behind us or ahead of us, we lose the extraordinary details of life, the warmth of the sun on our face, the sound of a loved one's laughter, the simple act of breathing. When you're not present, life can feel overwhelming. You're either weighed down by the baggage of yesterday or frozen by the uncertainty of tomorrow. But when you ground yourself in the moment, life becomes easier and better. You can focus on what's in front of you, what you can do today, this hour, even this minute. This doesn't mean you stop planning for the future or reflecting on the past. It means those things don't control you. They become tools, not burdens. So, how do you anchor yourself in the present when the world pulls you in every direction? Start small. Take moments throughout your day to simply pause and feel the world around you. When you're eating, really taste your food. When you're talking to someone, truly listen to their words. And when you're overwhelmed by everything you have to do, focus on the one task you can take on right now. The present moment is never as complicated as the mind makes it seem. These might sound like small acts, but they're powerful. They pull you out of your racing mind and into the reality of now. 2025 will likely be filled with its own set of challenges and uncertainties, but those challenges become less difficult when you approach them one moment at a time. The past is a lesson, the future a possibility, but the present is your only reality. Choose to live in it. Don't be a slave to your emotions. Emotions are powerful forces. They can drive us to achieve greatness or push us into regretful decisions. In moments of anger, fear, envy, or despair, it's easy to feel like you're at their mercy, caught in a storm you can't control. But Stoicism teaches us something different. Emotions don't control you unless you let them. They may arise naturally, but it's how you respond that determines their impact. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom applies directly to the tug-of-war with emotions. Feelings are temporary. They rise, they fall, and eventually they pass. Yet when we give them unchecked power, they can shape our actions, strain our relationships, and cloud our judgment. To live well, the Stoics believed, we must learn to observe our emotions without being consumed by them. Think of your emotions like a wildfire. Left uncontrolled, they can spread and destroy everything in their path. But with awareness and the right tools, you can contain that fire, even harness it for warmth and light. The goal isn't to suppress what you feel, it's to understand it. Anger might be telling you there's something unfair that needs addressing, but acting out in rage rarely solves the problem. Fear can alert you to a danger, but staying paralyzed by it prevents growth. When you take a step back and assess what your emotions are signaling, you regain your ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This kind of mastery begins with pausing. The next time you feel overwhelmed by an emotion, whether it's frustration during an argument or anxiety before a big decision, take a moment to breathe. Count to 10 if you have to. This pause creates space between the emotion and your response, allowing you to approach the situation with clarity. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to tell me? Is my reaction helping or making things worse? These questions shift your focus from the emotion itself to what you can do about it. Another tool the Stoics emphasized is perspective. When emotions feel all-consuming, it helps to zoom out. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of how small his troubles were in the grand scheme of life. A frustration today might seem irrelevant tomorrow. A fear that feels overwhelming now may fade with time. Keeping this bigger picture in mind can lessen the grip of intense feelings, giving you the space to act from a place of calm. You don't need to be perfect at this. No one is. But every step you take toward mastering your emotions is a step toward mastering your life. By choosing how you respond instead of letting feelings dictate your actions, you gain a sense of freedom and strength. In 2025, don't let your emotions hold you hostage. Use them as guides, not rulers, and watch how much more balanced your life becomes. Don't lose sleep for things you don't need. It's easy to believe that having more will make us happy. The latest gadget, a bigger house, a closet overflowing with clothes. These things are sold to us as markers of success, symbols of a life well lived. But if that were true, why do so many of us still feel restless despite having so much? Modern life encourages endless accumulation, but Stoicism teaches us that contentment doesn't come from having more. It comes from needing less. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's sharpest voices, said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. The more you accumulate, the more you have to manage, maintain, and protect. Stuff begins to own you rather than the other way around. You chase after the next purchase, believing it will complete you, only to realize the feeling of satisfaction is fleeting. Then the cycle begins again, buying, wanting, feeling empty. This constant striving isn't just exhausting, it's a distraction from what truly matters. Think of your life as a garden. If you plant too much, the soil gets overcrowded, and the beauty of individual blooms is lost in the chaos. The same is true for the things you surround yourself with. When your life is filled with excess, it becomes harder to focus on what truly brings joy or meaning. Simplicity allows room for clarity, gratitude, and peace. It's not about depriving yourself, but about creating space, physically and mentally, for what aligns with your values. So, how do you step off the treadmill of accumulation? Start by asking yourself a simple question. Does this add value to my life? When you're tempted to buy something new, pause and reflect. Is it solving a real problem, or is it filling a temporary emotional gap? This practice can also extend to the things you already own. Look around your home and notice how much of it you actually use or appreciate. Chances are a lot of it is just there, taking up space and energy. Decluttering isn't just a physical act, it's a mental one too. When you let go of what you don't need, you free your mind from the weight of excess. Try starting small. A drawer, a shelf, or a single corner of your space. Notice how it feels to create order and simplicity. Once you start, you might find it addictive in the best way. And don't stop with physical possessions. Think about the commitments, relationships, or habits that no longer serve you. These too can be clutter that drains your energy. The beauty of needing less is that it brings a sense of abundance. When you focus on what truly matters, whether it's relationships, meaningful work, or personal growth, you realize you already have more than enough. In 2025, let go of the urge to buy everything and embrace the freedom of simplicity. Don't resist change or cling to the past. Change is one of life's few certainties, yet it's also one of the hardest things to accept. We cling to what feels familiar, relationships, routines, old versions of ourselves, believing that if we hold tight enough, we can freeze time. But the truth is, resisting change doesn't stop it. It only creates suffering. Life moves forward whether we embrace it or not. Stoicism reminds us that growth happens when we stop fighting the inevitable and learn to adapt with grace. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Loss is nothing but change, and change is nature's delight." At its core, this isn't just a call to accept change, it's an invitation to see it as an opportunity. Nature is in constant motion. Seasons shift, rivers flow, and trees shed their leaves. There's no fear in this process, no hesitation. It's simply the way things are meant to be. The same is true for us. When we resist change, we're resisting life itself. We trap ourselves in a loop of frustration, longing for the past or fearing the future instead of living fully in the present. Think of life as a river. You can try to cling to the banks, resisting the current, but that only leaves you exhausted and stuck. Or you can let go and flow with it, trusting that the river knows where it's going. This doesn't mean you lose control. It means you focus on steering rather than fighting the current. When we accept change, we open ourselves to possibilities we couldn't see before. A closed door might lead to an open window. A loss may create space for something new. Acceptance doesn't mean you have to like or celebrate every change. It's natural to grieve what was or feel uncertain about what's ahead. But resisting reality doesn't make it less real. It just delays your ability to adapt. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this?" Shifting your mindset from resistance to curiosity can transform how you experience change. One way to practice this is by reflecting on past changes in your life. Think about a time when something you feared, like losing a job or ending a relationship, led to unexpected growth or new opportunities. This exercise reminds you that you've adapted before and can do so again. Another practice is grounding yourself in the present moment. When change feels overwhelming, take a deep breath and focus on what you can control right now. Often, the next small step is all you need to start moving forward. Clinging to the past may feel safe, but it keeps you tethered to something that no longer exists. By letting go, you create room for the new. Change is not your enemy. It's a natural part of life's rhythm. As you move through 2025, embrace the uncertainty that comes with change. See it as an invitation to grow, to evolve, to become. Don't forget the bigger picture. It's easy to get lost in the weeds of daily life. Meetings, deadlines, errands. They pile up, demanding your attention and leaving little room to breathe. But when you live solely in the rush of day-to-day tasks, life begins to feel small. You forget why you're doing any of it. Stoicism urges us to look beyond these immediate demands and keep the bigger picture in focus. What truly matters? What kind of life do you want to lead? The Stoics had a powerful way of maintaining this perspective. Memento mori. Remember that you will die. While this might sound morbid, it's actually a call to live fully and intentionally. Marcus Aurelius reflected often on his mortality, writing, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." The idea isn't to dwell on death, but to use it as a reminder of life's shortness. When you're aware of how short your time is, you stop wasting it on things that don't matter. Think of life as a camera lens. When you're too zoomed in, all you see is a blur of small details. The email you need to answer, the messy kitchen, the traffic jam. But when you zoom out, the bigger picture comes into view. You remember what's important, your relationships, your health, your personal growth. The mess fades into perspective, and what truly matters takes center stage. For many of us, losing sight of the bigger picture happens gradually. We say yes to too many commitments or chase goals that don't align with our values. Over time, we wake up to find ourselves busy, but unfulfilled. To avoid this, make it a habit to step back and reflect regularly. Ask yourself questions like, am I spending my time on what truly matters? Are my actions aligned with my values? Reflection doesn't take much. 5 minutes at the end of each day or an hour once a week can work wonders. One practical way to focus on the bigger picture is to create a life values list. Write down the things that matter most to you: family, creativity, health, service, or whatever feels meaningful. Then, whenever you feel overwhelmed or pulled in too many directions, revisit that list. Let it guide your choices. If something doesn't align with your values, consider whether it's worth your time and energy. Living with the bigger picture in mind doesn't mean ignoring the small things. It's about balancing the details with their greater purpose. Your daily actions, no matter how mundane, are the building blocks of your legacy. In 2025, let the small things connect to something more significant. When you focus on what truly matters, life feels richer, fuller, and more purposeful. Thank you for joining us on this amazing journey of the 7 Stoic Don'ts for a Better Life in 2025. We hope these ideas help you create a life filled with purpose, peace, and strength. Remember, a better life doesn't come from avoiding challenges. It comes from how you choose to face them. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a little Stoic inspiration. Keep these principles close, keep growing, and we'll see you next time. Stay grounded and take care. Have you ever felt like a candle burning at both ends? Giving, 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 until there's nothing left but a flicker? You're not alone. Today we're diving into the ancient wisdom that can save you from burning out while teaching you to shine even brighter. Welcome, warriors of the modern world. You're here because you're different. You care deeply, give freely, and often wonder if you're doing enough. But here's the truth bomb. Caring for others at the expense of yourself isn't nobility. It's a recipe for disaster. Today we're exploring the delicate art of balancing kindness with self-care. We'll tap into the timeless wisdom of Stoicism and see how these ancient principles can revolutionize your life in today's chaotic world. The problem of overgiving. Picture this: you're holding a cup. This cup represents your energy, your time, your very essence. Now imagine constantly pouring from this cup to fill others. Friends, family, colleagues. They all come to you with their empty cups, and without hesitation you pour and pour and pour. Feels good, doesn't it? Being the one people rely on, the rock in the storm. But here's the kicker. What happens when your cup runs dry? When you reach for that last drop of energy and find nothing? This, my friends, is the difficult path of overgiving. It's a trap that ensnares the best of us. We sacrifice sleep, self-care, and sanity on the altar of other people's needs. We wear our exhaustion like a badge of honor, thinking it proves our worth. But let me tell you some truths. Constant self-sacrifice isn't sustainable and is not even truly helpful. When we're running on empty, the quality of our help diminishes. We become irritable, resentful, and even bitter. Is that the version of yourself you want to offer the world? This is where the Stoics step in with their timeless wisdom. Epictetus, a formerly enslaved person turned philosopher, said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." In other words, true strength isn't about giving everything away. It's about recognizing and appreciating your resources and using them wisely. The Stoics understood that self-care isn't selfish, it's essential. They knew that we must be truly helpful and kind to ensure our cup is full. So ask yourself, how full is your cup right now? Are you pouring from a place of abundance? Or are you scraping the bottom, giving others nothing but the dried remnants of your former vitality? It's time to flip the script, learn the art of sustainable giving, and discover how setting boundaries and prioritizing self-care can actually make you more generous, impactful, and infinitely more fulfilled. The garden analogy. Picture two gardens side by side. One is a lush paradise bursting with vibrant flowers and ripe fruit. The other is withered, overgrown with weeds, barely clinging to life. Now ask yourself, which gardener has more to offer their community? This, my friends, is the essence of Stoic self-care. Tending your garden first is not selfish, it's necessary. It enables you to truly help others in a sustainable way. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Your self-care isn't an obstacle to generosity. It's the very path to sustainable kindness. By nurturing your well-being, you create an abundance from which to give. You're not depleting yourself, but sharing your overflow. This is the Stoic perspective on sustainable help. Think about it. A thriving garden doesn't just feed its owner. It provides beauty for passers-by, shelter for wildlife, and harvest to share with neighbors. It becomes a source of inspiration and nourishment for the entire community. So, I challenge you. Be that garden. Cultivate your strengths, nourish your mind, tend to your emotional health. Create a wellspring of vitality that naturally overflows to those around you. Remember, in taking care of yourself, you're not just serving your interests. You're preparing yourself to serve others more effectively, more joyfully, and for the long haul. True generosity. Now, let's dive into the heart of true generosity. Not the kind that leaves you drained and resentful, but the kind that fills you up and lights you from within. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, taught that actual giving comes without expectation of return. It's not a transaction or a debt to be repaid. It's a pure expression of your values and your humanity. When you give without strings attached, something magical happens. You tap into a wellspring of joy beyond the fleeting pleasure of receiving gratitude or recognition. The act itself becomes the reward. Modern psychology backs this up. Studies show that selfless giving activates the pleasure centers in our brain, reduces stress, and increases overall well-being. But here's the crucial part. This only works when the giving is voluntary, not compelled by guilt or obligation. So, I want you to ask yourself, are you giving because you genuinely want to, or because you think you should? Are you seeking validation and approval, or expressing your deepest values? True generosity isn't about quantity. It's not about who gives the most time, money, or energy. It's about quality. It's about giving from a place of abundance, not scarcity. Here's a practice for you. Next time you have the opportunity to give, do it anonymously. Whether it's a kind deed, a donation, or a helping hand, do it without anyone knowing it was you. Feel the difference when you give without any possibility of recognition or return. That's the power of true generosity. By embracing this Stoic principle, you'll find that generosity becomes not a duty, but a source of profound fulfillment. You'll give not because you must, but because you can't imagine doing otherwise. The art of saying no. We've talked about giving. Now let's tackle one of the most crucial skills in your Stoic toolkit, the art of saying no. Epictetus, who rose from enslaved person to revered philosopher, wisely noted, "If you don't wish to be a hothead, don't feed your habit. Try as a first step to remain calm and count the days you haven't been angry." Now, replace angry with overwhelmed, and you've got a powerful Stoic technique for boundary setting. It's about recognizing what feeds your stress and consciously choosing not to indulge it. Saying no isn't about being selfish or unkind. It's about being honest with yourself and others. It's about recognizing your limits and honoring them. It's an act of integrity. Consider this story. A young apprentice took on every task his master gave him, never refusing. He worked tirelessly, impressing everyone with his dedication. But when a crucial project came, he was too exhausted to complete it effectively. The master said, "In trying to do everything, you fail to do what truly matters. This is the pitfall of excessive help. By saying yes to everything, we dilute our ability to make a real impact where it counts. We spread ourselves too thin, and everyone loses." So I challenge you to practice discernment. Before you say yes to any request, ask yourself, is this aligned with my values? Can I give this my best effort? Will this leave me with enough energy for my true priorities? Remember, every yes is implicitly a no to something else. When you say yes to staying late at work, you might say no to quality time with your family. When you say yes to a friend's every request, you might say no to your needs. Choose wisely. Your time and energy are precious resources. Allocate them with the same care you'd give to any valuable asset. You're not closing yourself off from the world. By mastering the art of saying no, you're opening yourself up to saying a wholehearted yes to what truly matters. This is the path to living with purpose and impact, the very essence of Stoic wisdom. Finding balance. Now, let's tackle the art of balance, a concept as old as philosophy, yet as relevant as your last notification. Though not a Stoic, Aristotle gave us the golden mean, the sweet spot between extremes. In our context, it balances selfless giving and rigid self-protection. Imagine a tightrope walker. Lean too far in either direction, and you'll fall. The key is the constant mindful adjustment. Here's how to apply this wisdom. First, conduct a life audit. List your commitments, your goals, and your daily activities. Now, ruthlessly categorize them. What fills you up and what drains you? What aligns with your values and what's just noise? Next, embrace the power of hell yeah or no. When faced with a request or opportunity, if it's not a hell yeah, it's a no. This simple rule can transform your life, freeing up energy for what truly matters. But balance isn't just about managing external demands. It's about internal harmony, too. The Stoics taught ataraxia, the tranquility of the soul. Cultivate this through daily reflection. Ask yourself, am I living by my values? Am I growing or just going through the motions? Remember, balance isn't a destination, it's a journey. You'll wobble and sometimes fall. The key is to keep adjusting and keep learning. Epictetus said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." Find joy in the process of creating balance. Celebrate small wins. Learn from missteps. By mastering this balance, you're improving your life and setting an example for others. You're showing that being kind, successful, and at peace is possible. This, my friends, is practical wisdom in action. Self-respect and boundaries. Let's dive deep into a concept that can revolutionize your life: the transformative power of self-respect and boundaries. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the cornerstone of setting healthy boundaries. Understand this. Boundaries aren't walls. They're bridges to healthier relationships with others and yourself. Here's your action plan. 1. Define your non-negotiables. What are your core values? What behaviors will you not tolerate? Write them down. Make them real. 2. Communicate clearly. No hints, no passive aggression. State your boundaries with calm confidence. Remember, you're not asking for permission, you're stating a fact. 3. Prepare for pushback. When you start setting boundaries, some people won't like it. That's okay. Their reaction is about them, not you. 4. Practice self-compassion. Setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable at first. Be kind to yourself as you learn and grow. 5. Celebrate small wins. Each time you honor your boundaries, you're building self-respect. Acknowledge that. Now, let's address a common fear. Won't setting boundaries make me selfish? Absolutely not. Healthy boundaries make you a better friend, partner, and colleague. Why? Because you're showing up as your authentic self, not a resentful, burnt-out shell. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Most of the negative consequences we fear from setting boundaries never materialize. Instead, we gain respect from others and ourselves. Remember, you teach people how to treat you. By respecting yourself enough to set and maintain boundaries, you're creating a template for all your relationships. You're not just changing your life, but influencing your entire social ecosystem. This is true strength. This is genuine kindness. This is the path to becoming the best version of yourself. The ripple effect. Now, let's explore one of the most potent concepts in personal development: the ripple effect of self-improvement. Imagine dropping a stone into a still pond. The ripples spread outward, affecting the entire surface. That's what happens when you start prioritizing self-care and setting healthy boundaries. Pema Chodron understood this when he wrote, "What you do for yourself, any gesture of kindness, any gesture of gentleness, any gesture of honesty and clear seeing toward yourself will affect how you experience your world." Let's break this down. 1. Modeling behavior. When you respect your boundaries, you teach others to do the same. Your actions speak louder than words. 2. Increased capacity. By taking care of yourself, you have more to give to others, and your generosity becomes sustainable. 3. Authenticity. When you're true to yourself, you inspire others to do the same. Your courage becomes contagious. 4. Improved relationships. Clear boundaries lead to more transparent communication and deeper connections. 5. Positive energy. Self-care isn't selfish. It's a way of bringing your best self to every interaction. Here's a challenge for you. For the next week, commit to one daily act of self-care and one instance of setting a clear boundary. Notice how it affects your interactions. Notice how people respond to the more authentic, energized you. You might face resistance at first. Change can be uncomfortable for you and others, but stay the course. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Remember, you're not just changing your life, you're creating a new standard for your community. You're showing that it's possible to be kind without being a doormat, and successful without burning out. This is how real change happens, not through grand gestures, but through consistent, authentic living. One person at a time, creating ripples that eventually become waves. You have more influence than you realize. Your journey toward balance and self-respect can be the catalyst someone else needs to start their journey. So, I ask you, are you ready to create those ripples? Are you prepared to be the change you want to see in your world? The choice is yours and the time is now. Call to action. Remember, as Theodore Roosevelt said, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena. You are that man in the arena. You're not just surviving this chaotic world. You're learning to thrive in it. You're becoming the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. This path isn't for the faint of heart. It demands courage, discipline, and unwavering commitment. But the rewards? They're beyond measure. As you step out into the world armed with these Stoic principles, know this: you're not just changing yourself. You're becoming a beacon of strength for others, a rock in the storm. Jocko Willink, a modern Stoic warrior, puts it bluntly: discipline equals freedom. Your newfound self-discipline, boundaries, and self-respect are the tools that will set you free. So here's your mission, should you choose to accept it. 1. Take action today, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, now. 2. Embrace discomfort. Growth lives outside your comfort zone. 3. Lead by example. Be the change you want to see in the world. Remember, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. So stop imagining and start doing. You've got this. We believe in you. The Stoic community has your back. Now go out there and show the world what true strength looks like. Not just physical strength, but mental toughness, emotional resilience, and unshakable integrity. This is your moment. Seize it. And if you're hungry for more wisdom, challenges, and growth, you know where to find us. The Stoic community is always here, ready to fuel your journey to greatness. Stay strong, stay stoic, and never ever give up on becoming the best version of yourself. Whatever you do, do it 100%. These words might seem simple, but they carry a profound truth that can transform your life. I'm not talking about perfection or burning yourself out. I'm talking about giving your all to what truly matters. This principle aligns beautifully with Stoic philosophy, an ancient wisdom more relevant today than ever. Imagine you're at a crossroads in your life. Maybe you're stuck in a job you hate, struggling in a relationship, or facing an impossible challenge. You have two choices. You can half-heartedly go through the motions, or you can commit yourself fully to addressing the situation. The Stoics would argue that the latter is preferable and essential for a life well lived. But why? Why should we give 100% in a world that often seems indifferent to our efforts? To answer this, let's take a journey through the lens of Stoicism and explore how this ancient philosophy can guide us in modern times. First, let's clear up a common misconception. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or enduring hardship with a stiff upper lip. It's about understanding what's within our control and what isn't, and acting with virtue and reason in facing life's challenges. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes not from external circumstances, but from our actions and attitudes. Now, think about the last time you gave something your all. It could be a project at work, a personal goal, or even just making dinner for your family. How did it feel? There's a unique satisfaction in knowing you've done your absolute best, regardless of the outcome. This satisfaction is what the Stoics would call living by virtue. But let's be honest, giving 100% isn't always easy. We live in a world of distractions, where it's tempting to spread ourselves thin or take the path of least resistance. So why bother? Because when we commit fully to something, we tap into a wellspring of inner strength and resilience. Consider the story of Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the Nazi concentration camps. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl describes how he found purpose and maintained his humanity in the most horrific circumstances imaginable. He didn't just survive, he gave 100% to helping others and maintaining his dignity. This is the power of full commitment. It can sustain us even in our darkest hours. Now you might be thinking, that's all well and good, but I'm not facing anything that extreme. And you're right, most of us aren't. But the principle applies just as much to our everyday challenges. Whether you're trying to advance in your career, improve your relationships, or simply become a better version of yourself, giving 100% can make all the difference. Let's break this down into practical terms. Say you're in a job you don't particularly like. You have two options. You can do the bare minimum to get by, or you can give it your all. The first option might seem easier in the short term, but comes with a hidden cost. You're not just underperforming at work. You're reinforcing a habit of half-hearted effort that can seep into other areas of your life. On the other hand, if you commit to giving 100%, something interesting happens. You might not suddenly fall in love with your job, but you'll likely find aspects of it that you can improve or excel at. This not only makes your daily experience more engaging, but it also opens up new opportunities. Your increased effort leads to a promotion or gives you the confidence to seek a job that aligns with your passions. The same principle applies to relationships. How many of us go through the motions in our interactions with loved ones? We nod along during conversations while our minds are elsewhere. We make promises we don't fully intend to keep. We avoid difficult conversations because they're, well, tricky. But imagine if you gave 100% to your relationships. What would that look like? It means being fully present with someone, listening to understand, rather than waiting for your turn to speak. It might mean following through on your commitments even when it's inconvenient. It might mean having those tough conversations and approaching them with honesty and compassion. The results can be transformative. Relationships deepen, trust grows. You create a support network that can sustain you through life's ups and downs. The Stoics meant this when they talked about living in harmony with others, not just coexisting, but genuinely connecting. Now, let's talk about personal development. We all have dreams and aspirations, but how often do we give 100% to achieving them? It's easy to make excuses. I'm too busy. I'm not talented enough. It's too late to start. These are the voices of fear and complacency, and the enemies of growth. The Stoics would argue that these external factors, time, talent, circumstances, are largely outside our control. Our effort, attitude, and commitment to improvement are in our control. So if you want to learn a new skill, write a book, start a business, or whatever your personal goal might be, the question isn't can I? The question is, am I willing to give 100%? This means you'll need more time to achieve your goals. It doesn't even guarantee you'll achieve them at all. But by giving 100%, you ensure that you're making the most of your potential. You're living up to your standards, not anyone else's. Think about it this way. Success isn't just the result. It's about who you become in the process of pursuing your goals. When you give 100%, you develop discipline, resilience, and self-respect. These qualities serve you well, no matter what life throws your way. But let's address the elephant in the room. Giving 100% can be scary. It means putting yourself out there, risking failure, and facing your fears head-on. It's much safer to hold back, to always have the excuse of, well, I didn't try my hardest. This is where the Stoic concept of amor fati, love of fate, comes in handy. The idea is not just to accept whatever happens, but to embrace it as if it were exactly what you wanted. This doesn't mean being passive. It means giving your all and accepting the results with grace and composure. Imagine approaching a challenge, a job interview, a difficult conversation, or a personal goal with this mindset. You prepare thoroughly, give it your absolute best effort, and then you let go. You've done what you can. Whatever the outcome, you know you've acted with integrity and in alignment with your values. This attitude frees you from the paralysis of perfectionism. You're not giving 100% because you're guaranteed a specific outcome. You're doing it because it's the right thing to do. After all, it's how you want to live your life. I can almost hear some of you thinking, but what about burnout? Isn't giving 100% all the time exhausting? It's a valid concern and brings us to an important distinction. Giving 100% doesn't mean working yourself to the bone or neglecting other aspects of your life. It means being fully present and committed to what you're doing. Think about it like this. When you're at work, you give 100% to your tasks. When you're with your family, you give 100% of your attention to them. When you're exercising, you put 100% effort into your workout. It's not about constant, frenzied activity. It's about quality of engagement. This approach helps prevent burnout. When you're fully engaged in what you're doing, you're more efficient. You make fewer mistakes. You find more satisfaction in your actions. All of this adds up to less stress and more fulfillment. But let's be honest. Giving 100% isn't always easy. Life throws curveballs. We face setbacks, disappointments, and sometimes outright failure. How do we maintain our commitment in the face of adversity? This is where the Stoic practice of negative visualization comes in handy. It might sound pessimistic, but bear with me. The idea is to imagine losing what you value regularly. Your job, health, and relationships. Not to make yourself miserable, but to appreciate what you have more deeply. When you do this, two things happen. First, you become more grateful for what you have right now. Second, you become more resilient when faced with actual setbacks. You've already imagined the worst, so you're better prepared to handle whatever comes your way. Let's say you're working hard on a project at work. You're giving it your all, but despite your best efforts, it doesn't turn out as well as you hoped. At that moment, you have a choice. You can get discouraged and pull back, or view it as an opportunity to learn and grow. The Stoic approach would ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to improve? This doesn't mean you don't feel disappointed. It means you don't let that disappointment define you or deter you from continuing to give your best effort. Remember, giving 100% isn't about the outcome. It's about the process. It's about who you become when you commit fully to something. Each time you give your all, you're building character. You're becoming more resilient, more capable, more true to yourself. Now, let's talk about how this principle applies in different areas of life. We've touched on work and relationships, but what about personal development? This is an area where giving 100% can have truly transformative effects. You may come from a background where resources were limited. You didn't have the best education or the most supportive environment. It's easy to use these circumstances as excuses. I can't succeed because I didn't have the same advantages as others. But here's the thing. While we can't control the circumstances we're born into, we can control how we respond to them. Giving 100% means making the most of whatever resources you have. It means being willing to work harder, learn more, and push yourself further than others might expect. Think about some of the most successful people in history. Many of them came from humble beginnings. What set them apart wasn't their initial circumstances. It was their willingness to give 100% to their goals and dreams. Take Oprah Winfrey, for example. Born into poverty in rural Mississippi, she faced numerous challenges early in life. But she didn't let her circumstances define her. She gave 100% to her education, early jobs in media, and every opportunity that came her way. The result? She became one of the most influential and successful people in the world. I'm not saying that if you give 100%, you'll become the next Oprah. But I am saying that when you commit fully to your growth and development, you open up possibilities you might never have imagined. This applies to learning new skills, pursuing education, starting a business, or any other personal goal. When you give 100%, you're not just working towards an external goal. You're developing qualities like perseverance, creativity, and self-discipline that will serve you well in all areas of life. Let's shift gears and discuss how this principle applies to our relationships. In our fast-paced, often digital world, letting our connections with others become superficial is easy. We might have hundreds of friends on social media, but how many of those relationships are truly meaningful? Giving 100% in relationships means being fully present. It means listening when someone is talking to you, not just waiting for your speech. It means following through on your commitments, even when it's inconvenient. It means being willing to have difficult conversations, to work through conflicts rather than avoiding them. Think about your closest relationships with your partner, family, and best friends. What would it look like to give 100% to these relationships? Maybe it means putting away your phone during dinner and engaging in conversation. Perhaps it means going out of your way to support a friend who's going through a tough time. Maybe it means being vulnerable and honest about your struggles, rather than always trying to present a perfect image. When you give 100% to your relationships, you create more profound, more meaningful connections. You build a support network that can sustain you through life's ups and downs, and you experience the profound satisfaction that comes from truly connecting with others. Now, let's talk about one of the most challenging areas to apply this principle: facing adversity. Life isn't always smooth sailing. We all face difficulties, setbacks, and sometimes even tragedies. In these moments, giving up, retreating, or giving less than our best can be tempting because we're hurt or afraid. But it's precisely in these moments that giving 100% becomes most important. When you're facing a challenge, whether it's a health issue, a financial setback, the loss of a loved one, or any other difficulty, giving 100% means fully engaging with the reality of your situation. This doesn't mean you have to be happy about what's happening. It doesn't mean you can't feel sad, angry, or scared. What it means is that you bring your full self to the situation. You face it head-on with all the courage and resilience you can muster. Sometimes, giving 100% in the face of adversity means seeking help. It means being vulnerable enough to reach out to others to admit when you're struggling. This isn't weakness, it's strength. It takes courage to ask for support when you need it. Other times, giving 100% in adversity means taking action, even when you don't feel like it. If you've lost your job, it means putting full effort into your job search, even when you feel discouraged. If you're dealing with a health issue, it means following your treatment plan diligently and doing everything possible to support your recovery. And sometimes, Giving 100% means allowing yourself to fully feel and process your emotions rather than trying to numb or push them away. This is especially true when dealing with grief or trauma. Giving 100% means being willing to go through the difficult healing process, even when it's painful. The Stoics had a saying, "The obstacle is the way." They meant that our challenges aren't just barriers to overcome, they're growth opportunities. When you give 100% in the face of adversity, you're not just solving a problem, you're building resilience, developing wisdom, and becoming a more robust version of yourself. Now, I want to address a common misconception about giving 100%. Some people think it means being perfect, never making mistakes, always achieving your goals. This couldn't be further from the truth. Giving 100% isn't about perfection, it's about effort. It's about bringing your full self to whatever you do, regardless of the outcome. In fact, if you're giving 100%, you're likely to make more mistakes, not fewer. Why? Because you're pushing yourself, trying new things, stepping out of your comfort zone. The key is to view these mistakes not as failures, but as learning opportunities. Each mistake and setback is a chance to gain new knowledge, refine your approach, and grow stronger and more capable. Remember, the Stoics emphasized focusing on what's within our control. We can't control outcomes, but we can control our efforts. When you give 100%, you take full responsibility for the only thing you can control: yourself. Let's delve deeper into how giving 100% can transform various aspects of your life. We've touched on work, relationships, and personal development, but there's much more to explore. Consider your health and well-being. Many of us have a complicated relationship with our health. We know we should eat better, exercise more, and get enough sleep. But it's easy to make excuses, to put off these important habits for another day. What would it look like to give 100% to your health? It doesn't mean becoming a fitness fanatic or following an extreme diet. It means fully committing to taking care of yourself, day in and day out. It means making conscious choices about what you eat, prioritizing physical activity, and getting enough rest. When you give 100% to your health, you're not just improving your physical condition, you're investing in your future. You're giving yourself the energy and vitality to pursue your other goals. You're building discipline and self-respect that spill over into other areas of your life. The key is that giving 100% to your health doesn't mean never indulging in a treat or beating yourself up if you miss a workout. It means being fully present and intentional in your choices. It means treating your body with respect and care, not out of obligation, but because you value yourself. Now, let's talk about creativity and passion projects. Many of us have dreams or hobbies that we never fully pursue. You've always wanted to write a novel, start a podcast, learn to paint, or play an instrument. But these dreams often get pushed to the back burner as we deal with the demands of daily life. Giving 100% to your passions means carving out time and energy for them, even when inconvenient. It means treating your creative pursuits with the same seriousness you bring to your job or other responsibilities. Imagine if you gave 100% to your passion project. Maybe you wake up an hour earlier each day to work on your novel. Maybe you dedicate your weekends to practicing your instrument. It might be challenging at first, but as you fully commit, you'll likely find a sense of fulfillment you've been missing. Remember, giving 100% doesn't mean your creative works must be perfect. It doesn't even mean they must be good, especially at first. What it means is that you're fully engaging in the process, learning, growing, and expressing yourself authentically. Let's shift gears and talk about civic engagement and community involvement. In our busy lives, it's easy to become isolated and focus solely on our concerns. But humans are social creatures, and we thrive when connected to a larger community. Giving 100% to your community might mean volunteering for a cause you care about. It might mean getting involved in local politics or community organizations. It might simply mean being a good neighbor, looking out for others, and contributing to the well-being of your local area. When you give 100% to your community, you're not just helping others. You're expanding your world. You're building connections, gaining new perspectives, and contributing to something larger than yourself. This can bring a sense of purpose and fulfillment that's hard to find elsewhere. Now, let's address a critical point. Giving 100% doesn't mean spreading yourself thin. In fact, it often means the opposite. It means being selective about where you put your energy so you can fully commit to what truly matters. In our modern world, we're bombarded with demands on our time and attention. Social media, endless notifications, and the constant pressure to be productive can all leave us feeling scattered and drained. Giving 100% means having the courage to say no to things that don't align with your values or goals, so you can say yes to what really matters. This might mean setting boundaries at work, limiting your social media use, or being more selective about your commitments. It might mean disappointing some people in the short term, but by focusing your energy on what's truly important to you, you'll be able to show up more fully in the areas of life that matter most. Let's talk about learning and personal growth. In today's rapidly changing world, the ability to learn and adapt is more important than ever. Giving 100% to your personal growth means embracing a mindset of lifelong learning. This doesn't necessarily mean formal education, but it can be part of it. It means being curious, challenging assumptions, and always seeking opportunities to expand your knowledge and skills. When you give 100% to learning, you approach each day as an opportunity to grow. You ask questions. You seek out new experiences. You're not afraid to be a beginner, make mistakes, or look foolish in pursuing knowledge. This attitude can transform your life in profound ways. It keeps your mind sharp and engaged. It opens up new opportunities in your career and personal life. It helps you stay adaptable in a changing world. And perhaps most importantly, it keeps life interesting and exciting. Now, let's return to the Stoic philosophy we discussed earlier. The Stoics emphasized the importance of living in accordance with virtue. But what does that mean in practical terms? Giving 100% to living virtuously means striving to embody qualities like wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control in all your actions. It means doing the right thing, even when it's difficult. It means being honest, even when a lie might be more convenient. It means standing up for what you believe in, even when it's unpopular. This isn't about being perfect. We all make mistakes, have moments of weakness, or fall short of our ideals. Giving 100% to virtue means acknowledging these shortcomings and striving to improve. When you commit fully to living with integrity, you build self-respect. You become someone others can count on. You create a solid foundation for all your other endeavors. And you cultivate a deep sense of peace and satisfaction that comes from knowing you're doing your best to live in alignment with your values. Let's talk about resilience. Life will inevitably throw challenges your way. Giving 100% means developing the mental and emotional strength to face these challenges head-on. Resilience isn't about never feeling down or discouraged. It's about how quickly you can bounce back, learn, and grow from difficulties. When you give 100% to building resilience, you're investing in your ability to handle whatever life throws your way. This might mean developing healthy coping mechanisms for stress. It might mean cultivating a support network you can rely on in tough times. Practicing mindfulness or other techniques to manage your thoughts and emotions might mean. Building resilience also means reframing how you view challenges. Instead of seeing them as insurmountable obstacles, you can view them as opportunities for growth. This doesn't mean you have to like the difficult situations you face, but by giving 100% to facing them, you can often find the strength and wisdom you didn't know you had. Now, let's address a common concern. What if I give 100% and still fail? This fear keeps many people from fully committing to their goals or dreams. The truth is that giving 100% doesn't guarantee success in the traditional sense. You might not get the job, win the competition, or achieve the goal you set out to accomplish. But here's the thing. When you give 100%, you never truly fail. Why? Because the act of giving your all is a success in itself. When you commit fully to something, you learn, you grow, you become stronger, more resilient, more capable. These benefits remain regardless of the external outcome. Moreover, when you give 100%, you can look back without regret. You know you did everything in your power. This brings a sense of peace and self-respect that's far more valuable than any external measure of success. Remember, too, that what looks like failure at the moment often turns out to be a stepping stone to something better. Many of the most successful people in various fields experienced significant setbacks before achieving their goals. The difference is they kept giving 100%, even when things didn't go as planned. Let's talk about the impact of giving 100% on your self-image and confidence. You start to see yourself differently when you consistently bring your full effort to your endeavors. You build trust in yourself. You know that no matter your situation, you can count on yourself to show up fully. This self-trust is incredibly powerful. It allows you to take on bigger challenges and step outside your comfort zone. When you know you'll give 100% no matter what, you're more willing to try new things and take calculated risks. Moreover, this attitude is noticeable to others. People are drawn to those who fully engage with life. They respect and trust individuals who consistently give their best effort. This can open up new opportunities in your personal and professional life. Lastly, let's consider the ripple effect of giving 100%. When you commit fully to living this way, you inspire others. Your actions speak louder than words, showing those around you what's possible when you engage fully with life. Think about the people in your life, your family, friends, colleagues, community members. How might your example influence them? By giving 100%, you're not just improving your own life. You're contributing to a culture of engagement, effort, and integrity that can have far-reaching effects. As we near the end of our journey exploring the power of giving 100%, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've discussed. We've seen how this principle can transform our lives, from work and relationships to personal growth and community involvement. But the most profound impact of giving 100% is on our inner selves. We develop a deep sense of integrity when consistently bringing our full effort and engagement to life. We align our actions with our values, bridging the gap between who we are and who we aspire to be. This alignment brings a sense of peace and satisfaction that's hard to find elsewhere. It's not about achieving perfection or never making mistakes. It's about knowing you've given your best regardless of the outcome. This knowledge is a source of strength that can carry you through successes and setbacks. Now, I want to address a question that might be on your mind. Is it really possible to give 100% all the time? The answer is both yes and no. Yes, in the sense that you can approach each moment with full presence and commitment. No, in the sense that we're human and we all have ups and downs. There will be days when you feel tired, discouraged, or unmotivated. That's okay. Giving 100% doesn't mean being at peak performance every second of every day. It means bringing your full self to whatever state you're in. Giving 100% might sometimes mean recognizing that you need rest or asking for help. The key is to approach each situation with intention and integrity. On your best days, this might mean pushing yourself to new heights. It might mean simply showing up and doing what you can on your most challenging days. Both are valid expressions of giving 100%. Remember, too, that giving 100% is a practice. Like any skill, it gets easier and more natural with time. Don't be discouraged if you find it challenging at first. Each time you choose to engage fully, you're strengthening this ability. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a challenge. For the next week, choose one area of your life to give 100%. It could be your work, a relationship, a personal project, or even just your daily routine. Approach it with full presence and commitment. Notice how it feels. Notice the impact it has on your experience and those around you. You might be surprised at what you discover. You might find new depths of capability within yourself. You might experience a renewed sense of purpose and engagement. You inspire others to bring their full selves to their lives as well. Ultimately, giving 100% is about fully embracing the gift of life. We each have a limited time on this earth. By committing to give our all, we honor that gift. We make the most of each moment, each interaction, and each opportunity. This doesn't mean every moment will be easy or pleasant. Life will still have its challenges and sorrows. But by giving 100%, we ensure we're living life to its fullest, squeezing every drop of growth, connection, and meaning from our experiences. So, as you go forward from here, I encourage you to ask yourself regularly, am I giving 100% to this moment? Not in a way that creates pressure or stress, but as an invitation to fully engage with your life, to be present, to bring your whole self to whatever you're doing. Remember the words we started with. Whatever you do, do it 100%. This isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a philosophy, a way of life. It's about showing up fully, not just for the big moments, but for all the small, everyday moments that make up the fabric of our lives. By embracing this principle, you're not just improving your own life, you're contributing to a better world. You're setting an example of what's possible when we fully commit to our values, our goals, and each other. You're creating ripples of positive change that can extend far beyond what you can see. So I invite you to take this principle into your life. Give it a try. See how it transforms your experiences, your relationships, and your sense of self. It may not always be easy, but I promise you, it's worth it. Because when you give 100%, you're not just doing something, you're becoming someone. You're becoming the fullest, most authentic version of yourself. And in the end, that's what life is all about. Not perfection, not unbroken success, but the ongoing journey of becoming who we truly are and giving that self fully to the world. So go forth, give it your all, and watch your life transform in ways you might never have imagined. Whatever you do, do it 100%. Your future self will thank you. Hey there, have you ever felt the sting of disrespect and wondered how to handle it without losing your cool or compromising who you are? You're in the right place, because today we'll be focusing on the art of responding to disrespect with wisdom and strength. By the time we're done, you'll have 5 powerful strategies rooted in Stoic philosophy to help you stay calm, composed, and in control, no matter what life throws at you. So settle in and prepare to discover tools that will help you stay grounded, protect your peace, and handle challenges with resilience. And before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell to stay tuned for more videos on being the best version of yourself. Are you ready to take control? Let's get started. Pause. Don't react. Disrespect has a way of hitting us where it hurts the most. It triggers an immediate reaction. Our pulse quickens, our mind races, and our ego rises, demanding retaliation. But here's a truth that cuts deeper than any insult. How you respond to disrespect says far more about you than the words or actions of the person delivering it. This is where Stoicism offers its first and most critical lesson. Pause. Do not react. When someone disrespects you, your initial impulse might be to fight back, defend your pride, or prove a point. But a quick reaction often gives power to the very person who wronged you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you." In that single moment of pause, you regain control, not just over the situation, but over yourself. It's a moment to reclaim your peace, to decide if this is worth your energy or if it's better to simply let it pass. Think of your mind as a fortress. An insult, no matter how sharp, is just a pebble tossed at your walls. The stronger your defenses, the less impact it has. But if you swing open the gates in anger, you invite chaos inside. A pause creates a space where you can breathe, think, and choose your next step wisely. This might sound simple, but it's a practice that requires discipline. Pausing doesn't mean ignoring what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. It means stepping back and examining the situation objectively. Ask yourself, why did they say or do this? Is their disrespect truly about me, or does it reflect their own struggles? Often, people lash out because they're dealing with their insecurities, frustrations, or pain. Their words may hurt, but they're usually rooted in something far beyond you. Realizing this shifts the power dynamic. It's not about excusing their behavior. It's about understanding that their actions don't have to dictate your reaction. Here's a practical way to practice this. The next time someone disrespects you, deliberately take a deep breath before responding. That single breath creates a pause, and in that pause lies your power. Reflect on whether reacting will bring you closer to the person you want to be. Will retaliating make you feel proud later, or will it drag you into a cycle of negativity? Choosing silence or a calm response is not a weakness. It's a strength. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You can't control others' words or actions, but you can control what they take from you. Disrespect doesn't have to rob you of your peace, dignity, or self-respect. By pausing and not reacting impulsively, you protect your inner world from the chaos of the outer one. Each time you master this, you become a little stronger, free, and a lot closer to having the wisdom of the Stoics. Change your perspective. It's not about you. Disrespect often feels like a personal attack, something aimed directly at who you are. It's easy to let it affect you, to replay the words in your head, or question what you did to deserve it. But here's the truth. Disrespect says far more about the person delivering it than it does about you. And that's where the second step in dealing with it lies, shifting your perspective. Stoicism teaches us to look beyond the surface of a situation, to see it for what it really is. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you feel disrespected, ask yourself, is this truly about me? Chances are, it isn't. Most disrespect comes from a place of ignorance, insecurity, or pain within the other person. Maybe they were having a bad day, or perhaps they'd been carrying unresolved bitterness for years. Whatever the reason, their actions reflect their inner struggles, not your worth. Think of it like this. Someone throws a shadow across your path. That shadow doesn't harm you. It simply exists because of the angle of the light and the shape of the person standing in it. Just like that, their disrespect is a projection of what's inside them, not a reflection of who you are. By shifting your perspective, you can separate their behavior from your identity. Instead of taking the insult personally, you can see it as a passing shadow, a fleeting moment that doesn't define you. This shift in perspective isn't about excusing bad behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional grip of their words or actions. When someone insults you, they're looking for a reaction. They want to provoke, to pull you into their storm. But when you choose to see their behavior as a reflection of them, rather than you, it loses its power. You remain steady, grounded in the understanding that their disrespect doesn't diminish your value. The next time someone disrespects you, pause and ask yourself, what might this person be dealing with that I can't see? You might not know the answer, but the act of asking shifts your focus. Instead of reacting with anger or hurt, you respond with curiosity or even compassion. This doesn't mean letting people walk over you. It means refusing to let their actions dictate your emotional state. Marcus Aurelius also said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth which never harmed anyone." Sometimes shifting your perspective also means reflecting on whether there's truth in what was said. Could this be an opportunity for growth, even if the delivery was harsh? Stoicism teaches us to embrace discomfort when it serves our personal development. If there's value in their words, take it. If not, let it go. By shifting your perspective, you reclaim your power. You move from feeling attacked to standing firm in the understanding that you control your narrative. Their words may hurt for a moment, but you don't have to allow it to affect you. Every time you rise above disrespect, you prove to yourself that your peace isn't something others can take away. It's yours to protect. Hold on to your values. When someone disrespects you, it's tempting to mirror their behavior, to lash out, prove a point, or stew in anger long after the moment has passed. But the truth is, reacting in kind doesn't make you stronger or more respected. It pulls you further away from the person you want to be. The third lesson Stoicism offers in handling disrespect is to hold on to your values. In disrespectful moments, your values become your compass, guiding you without compromising who you are. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This isn't just a call for restraint. It's an invitation to act with purpose. When someone disrespects you, they're often trying to provoke you, to bring you down to their level. But every time you choose patience over anger or kindness over retaliation, you refuse to give them that satisfaction. Instead, you stay anchored in your character. Your response becomes a reflection of your strength, not their weakness. Think about what you value most. Is it integrity, patience, kindness? These values are the foundation of who you are. The moment you react impulsively or abandon those principles, you give someone else control over your actions. By staying true to your values, you maintain control, not just over the situation, but over your sense of self. Holding on to your values doesn't mean you have to tolerate bad behavior or let others walk all over you. It means choosing your response deliberately in a way that aligns with the kind of person you want to be. Think of your values as the roots of a tree, grounding you during a storm. The wind may rage, but the roots keep you steady. When you hold on to your values, you not only protect your inner peace, but also set a powerful example for others. For example, let's say a colleague undermines you in a meeting. It's natural to feel the urge to fire back with a sharp comment or try to put them in their place. But what if you chose to respond calmly instead, addressing the situation with professionalism and respect? Not only does this approach maintain your dignity, but it also reinforces the values you hold dear, like respect, patience, or fairness. Others will notice your composure, even if the disrespectful person does not. It's easy to mistake calmness for weakness, but the truth is that holding on to your values requires immense strength. It's far easier to lash out or let emotions take over than to remain composed in the face of provocation. Stoicism teaches us that true power lies in mastering ourselves, not others. Ask yourself this: will reacting out of anger or pride make me feel proud tomorrow? More often than not, the answer is no. Choosing to act with integrity in the face of disrespect is not about suppressing your feelings. It's about channeling them into something productive. It's about proving to yourself that you are in control, not your emotions or the actions of others. To practice holding on to your values, start by identifying what truly matters to you. Take a few minutes to reflect, or even write them down. Here are some questions to guide you. What qualities do you admire most in yourself or others? What kind of legacy do you want to leave through your actions? Which values make you feel proud and aligned with your authentic self? Once you've identified your core values, use them as a decision-making tool when confronted with disrespect. Before reacting, pause and ask yourself, which response aligns with my values? Which one moves me further away from them? For example, if you value patience, you might choose to let the disrespectful comment pass without escalating the situation. If you value honesty, you might address the behavior calmly, setting a boundary without attacking the other person. If you value kindness, you might consider whether the other person's actions come from a place of pain and respond with compassion. Every time you hold on to your values, you strengthen them. Each small act of self-control builds character, making it easier to stay true to yourself the next time disrespect crosses your path. The Stoics remind us that we can't control what others do, but we can control how we respond. Let's take an example from history. Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius often dealt with betrayal and disrespect from those closest to him, including members of his court. But he remained strong in his values, choosing to lead with fairness, wisdom, and humility. He once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that challenges, including disrespect, are opportunities to practice and strengthen your virtues. When someone disrespects you, think of it as a test of your character. How will you rise to meet it? Will you let the moment define you, or will you use it to define yourself? Let go of the need for validation. Disrespect hurts because deep down, we all crave recognition and validation. We want to be valued, understood, and treated fairly. But when someone disrespects us, it can feel like a personal attack on our worth. This is where the fourth lesson of Stoicism comes into play. Let go of the need for validation. True strength comes from within, not from the approval or opinions of others. Most of us are conditioned to seek approval from an early age. A kind word from a parent, praise from a teacher, or acknowledgement from a friend feels like confirmation that we're on the right path. As we grow, this need often increases. Social media likes, workplace recognition, and even casual compliments become markers of our self-worth. But here's the problem. When you rely on others to validate your worth, you hand over your power. You give others control over how you see yourself. If someone disrespects you, their words can feel like a direct challenge to your values. This leaves you vulnerable, constantly seeking reassurance that you matter and feeling less than when that reassurance doesn't come. Epictetus offers a powerful reminder. If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. These words cut to the heart of the issue. Stoicism teaches that the opinions of others, whether good or bad, have no bearing on your intrinsic value. Your worth is not up for debate. It exists independently of how others treat or think of you. Think of it this way. A diamond doesn't lose its value just because someone mistakes it for glass. Its worth is inherent, no matter who recognizes it. The same is true for you. The disrespect of others doesn't diminish your value. Only your attachment to their opinions can make it feel that way. Letting go of the need for validation doesn't mean you stop caring about growth or improvement. It means you focus on building a strong sense of self-worth that isn't dependent on external factors. Imagine how freeing it would be to move through the world knowing that your value is not tied to anyone else's recognition. When someone disrespects you, their words lose power because you're no longer tied to their opinion. You remain grounded, confident that their inability to see your worth says more about them than about you. If you're struggling with validation, start by reflecting on your strengths and values. Write them down. What are the qualities you admire most about yourself? Maybe you're a good listener, resilient in challenging situations, or deeply compassionate. These traits make up the foundation of your worth, traits that no one else can take away. When someone disrespects you, ask yourself, does this person's opinion really matter? Are they someone whose judgment you trust, or are they acting out of their frustrations? Not every voice deserves a place in your mind. By questioning the validity of their words, you can reduce their emotional impact. It's important to distinguish between helpful criticism and disrespect. If someone offers genuine feedback, even if it's delivered poorly, consider whether there's a lesson to learn. But if their words are rooted in malice or ignorance, let them go. Remember, you are not obligated to carry someone else's negativity. Each day, take a moment to affirm your worth. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Did you handle a stressful situation calmly? Did you stay true to your values? These victories, even when unnoticed by others, are meaningful. Acknowledge them for yourself. When you release the need for external validation, something remarkable happens. You become unshakable. Disrespect no longer feels like an attack on your identity. Instead, it becomes just another passing event, something you can observe without internalizing. Let's return to Epictetus's wisdom. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By letting go of validation, you shift your focus away from how others think of you and toward how you see yourself. This shift not only strengthens your resilience, but also gives you the freedom to live authentically without constantly seeking approval. Marcus Aurelius offers a beautiful metaphor. People try to get away from it all, to the country, to the beach, to the mountains. You always have the option of retreating into yourself. This inner retreat is the cornerstone of Stoicism. It's a place where no insult, no disrespect, and no opinion can reach you unless you let it. Your inner fortress is built on the understanding that your worth is intrinsic. When you focus on nurturing this internal strength, the need for validation begins to fade. You stop looking for approval in others and start finding it in yourself. One of the most empowering aspects of letting go of validation is the ability to reframe disrespect. Instead of seeing it as an attack, you can view it as an opportunity to practice resilience and self-mastery. For instance, let's take that someone criticizes you unfairly in front of others. Instead of allowing their words to shake you, remind yourself, their opinion doesn't define me. My response does. With this mindset, you take back power in that situation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." If you find yourself dwelling on a disrespectful remark, ask yourself, why does their opinion matter more than my own? This isn't about dismissing others entirely. It's about recognizing that your self-worth doesn't depend on their approval. You have the right to decide what voices you let into your mind and which ones you tune out. Think of it like this. If someone hands you a heavy suitcase filled with their opinions, you have the choice to carry it or set it down. Detaching from the need for validation means choosing not to carry that burden. You travel lighter, freer, and more focused on what truly matters, your growth and peace. By letting go of validation, you permit yourself to live authentically. You're no longer performing for approval or shrinking in the face of criticism. Instead, you stand firm in the knowledge of who you are. When someone disrespects you, their words may still hurt for a moment, but the hurt won't last. You'll recognize that their inability to see your worth is their limitation, not yours. And in that realization lies true power. Forgive and release. Disrespect has a way of lingering in the mind. Even after the moment has passed, it can replay in your head, stirring anger or resentment. You might find yourself revisiting the words, thinking of what you could have said or done differently. But holding on to this resentment does nothing to the person who disrespected you. It only weighs you down. This is where the fifth and final Stoic lesson comes in: forgive and release. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It's not about letting someone off the hook or pretending that their actions were acceptable. It's about choosing to free yourself from the burden of anger and resentment. Seneca wrote, "To be angry is to revenge the faults of others on ourselves." When you hold on to anger, you allow the disrespectful act to continue affecting you long after the moment has passed. You carry their actions with you, letting them cloud your thoughts and drain your energy. Forgiveness is the act of putting that weight down and walking away lighter, free from the emotional baggage of the past. Imagine carrying a heavy stone in your hand. At first, it might seem manageable, but as time passes, your arm grows tired and the weight becomes unbearable. Resentment works the same way. The longer you hold on to it, the more it drains you, taking up space in your life that could be used for peace, joy, or growth. The act of forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or condoning what happened. It means releasing the emotional hold that the disrespect has over you. It's a choice to prioritize your well-being over the desire for revenge or retribution. Forgiveness doesn't mean allowing someone to continue disrespecting you. In fact, it can coexist with setting firm boundaries. If someone consistently disrespects you, you can forgive them while also deciding to distance yourself. To forgive and release, take a moment to ask yourself, what am I holding on to, and how is it serving me? Most times you'll realize that resentment serves no purpose other than keeping you stuck in a negative cycle. Think of what the other person might have been dealing with that led to their behavior. While this doesn't excuse their actions, it can help you see that their disrespect wasn't necessarily about you. A helpful exercise is to imagine the disrespect as a physical object, like that heavy stone. Think of yourself setting it down and walking away. This simple visualization can reinforce your decision to release the burden. Forgiveness is not a one-time event. It's a continuous practice. Each time you let go of resentment, you reinforce your ability to move through life with greater freedom and peace. Forgiveness is ultimately an act of self-liberation. When you forgive, you choose to stop reliving the pain of the past. You take back control over your thoughts and emotions, creating space for healing and growth. Seneca reminds us, "What progress, you ask, have I made? I have begun to be a friend to myself." Forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself, a way of becoming your own ally rather than your own enemy. When you forgive and release, you transform disrespect from something that harms you into something that strengthens you. You reclaim your peace, protect your energy, and free yourself to focus on what truly matters. Thank you for exploring these 5 Stoic ways to respond when someone disrespects you. We hope this gave you valuable insights to help you navigate life's challenges with more strength, clarity, and wisdom. Remember, every small step you take towards self-mastery brings you closer to becoming the best version of yourself. Stoic philosophy reminds us that while we can't control what others do, we always have the power to choose how we respond. And that choice is where true strength lies. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more empowering content like this. Stay resilient, stay grounded, and we'll see you next time.